When you think of a boy band, what direction does your mind go to first? Maybe the Backstreet Boys, NSYNC, New Kids on the Block? We might even throw it back a little bit with Boys to Men. But when you think of a boy band, the only direction your mind should go to is One Direction. One Direction has been stealing many people's hearts since 2011, including mine. Today, on this presentation, we will be showing the rise of One Direction, what was the band's downfall, and what the band is doing now. The band One Direction started on the show X Factor, where each boy auditioned, some barely making it in, but little did they know this would soon be the start of something amazing. The source Britannica shows that while each boy auditioned separately, they later came together to make a group of 5. We have Liam Payne, Niall Horan, Harry Styles, Zayn Malik, and Louis Tomlinson. While their fame didn't immediately take off in America, it did in the British Isles when they were touring there. They then later came out with their album Up All Night, which had their hit song What Makes You Beautiful, which has 1.4 billion views on YouTube and got them the fame that they have today in America. They then did some media promotion and later went on to do a world tour. While the band still had many dedicated followers, with 50 awards and 4 albums, all in under just 4 years, they started to fall apart. This all started with the singer Zayn Malik leaving. He said in his tweet that he wanted to be a normal 22-year-old, but later in the podcast Daddy Issues, he came out saying that the band was starting to fall apart. They were all having problems and hating each other, and the management was just a wreck. The group of 4 then later came out with their last album, Made in the AM, and then went on to all do their own thing. The band of One Direction has done many wonderful things, together and apart. First, we'll start with Zayn Malik. As Zayn Malik was the first to leave, he was the first to make his first album, Pillow Talk, which did amazing and topped charts. He then came out with Mind Over Matter in 2016, 1 year after he left the band. He then did Icarus Falls and Nobody's Listening. He has gone on to date many supermodels and famous singers, most notably Gigi Hadid, who he has his daughter with, Kai. While they aren't still currently together, he does see his daughter very often. Next is Liam Payne. He has made 2 singles with collabing with other people in his own recording studio. He also has his son. Bear with Cheryl Cole, who he sees very often. We then have Niall Horan, who has made many albums. He started with This Town with his solo contract. He then went on to do Slow Hands and then his first album, Flicker. He then went on to do Nice to Meet Ya and his latest album, The Show, which came out in 2023. He is currently with his long-term girlfriend, Amelia Woolley, who they are very in love. We then have Louis Tomlinson. He started with Just Hold On. He then came out with Back to You and then The Two of Us for his mother, who died shortly after he left the band. He then made Faith in the Future, which he then toured worldwide. He then has his son, Freddie Rain, with his significant other, Brianna Jungwirth, who they are very much in love. We then have arguably the most successful individual out of the whole band, which is Harry Styles. Harry Styles went on to make his first album, Sign of the Times, which did very well in Britain and also did very well in America. He then went on to make Fine Line, which got him the record for the most It got him the record in America for the most sales from a British male singer. His top song, Watermelon Sugar, also won a Grammy for the best pop song. He then came out in 2022 with Harry's House, which won 3 Grammys and topped charts for weeks. He then went out into acting. In 2017, he acted in the film Dunkirk as a World War II soldier. He then was the lead role in Don't Worry Darling and also My Policeman. Now that we have gone over how One Direction rose to fame, what ultimately drug One Direction down, and how One Direction is doing now as an individual. It is now time for me to head the only direction I can get out of here. But when you're thinking of a boy band, I hope the only direction your mind goes to is One Direction.